For staying with us on TVC Breakfast. Well, President Bola Tinubu has urged Nigerians to adopt mechanized farming to address hunger and food insecurity. President Tinubu made this call to action during his presidential address to mark the country's 64th Independence Day celebration. And this comes at a time when Nigeria was listed as one of the global hunger hotspots by the World Food Programme in 2023. This due to rising insecurity in agricultural regions, as well as the increasing costs of essential farming inputs. President Tinubu also acknowledged the high cost of living, particularly food costs, as a major concern for Nigerians. And he says his administration is implementing measures to reduce the cost of living, including establishing a local assembly plant for 2,000 John Deere tractors approved by the Federal Executive Council in September this year. This push for mechanized farming could be a significant step towards addressing the food insecurity in the country. Joining us now in the studio is food security expert, African farmer Mogaji, to talk about these issues and your expectations, whether your expectations were met in President Tinubu's address. Well, having listened to him, especially the part about tackling food insecurity, what are your thoughts? What are your takeaways?
Well, we're not where we used to be, but my expectations were not met in the speech. My expectations were not met when you compare the speech to what we have. Okay, with the opportunities available, that is not fully harnessed, but we're not where we used to be. There's some measure of progress.
Where exactly?
Yeah, generally across board. And one thing I do like about that speech was his call to the governors. Okay, at the federal level, the federal is doing too much.
That's right.
Okay, when I say too much is every state is independent of the federal in terms of administration. Okay, if Kebbi takes agriculture more serious, putting in more resources, making it a general focus for everybody, I see no reason why other states could not do it. Okay, and cannot do it. So bottom line is, if the states governors up their game, then that speech would have been more robust and better. But in terms of what the federal is doing, yes, federal is ensuring that the states have more than enough of inputs, facilitating finance, and all those things. But we're not seeing that corresponding effort from many of the states. And why do I say this? And I'm not critical of them. Now, I recall I was in Abuja, I think first week of July, or thereabout. And the president and he charged all the governors, saying that they should send in their food security plans, that he can facilitate the funding.
That's right.
And gave them 14 days ultimatum. Now, 60 days after, over 90% of the governors had not sent in any document. The states will complain of funding. Now somebody is saying, we can fund. We know we
Bring your template.
Yes, we can access the funding from developmental partners and go. Bring your template. I did not bring the template. And I was more concerned about the governors having the second term in office. For the new governors, you could say, oh, they're new, they're just chill, trying to move around to understand. But the second term governors ought to have thrown in that document. And so I see federal doing too much and the states not paying attention. And when there's challenge of food, everybody points to the federal. So right now, and I do appreciate also the president mentioning some names.
That's right.
To say this, and the irony of it is the states he mentioned have some measure of insurgency and things that should not make them function well.
Talking about Kwara.
Kwara, Kebbi,
Niger,
Nasarawa, Kebbi, Jigawa.
And the Southwest.
No, for me, that was just padding the region.
Okay.
He mentioned some states. Why couldn't we mention states?
Specific states in the
Specific
Southwest.
states in the Southwest.
That's right.
The only region in the country that is not having insecurity as regards Boko Haram and all these major insurgencies is the Southwest.
That's right.
The Southwest, based on all data, based on all reports, is still the most secure.
So you feel they should have done
Yes.
far more
Now,
than they're doing?
I give a plus to Lagos. I exempt Lagos out of this. Why? In terms of infrastructure of markets, you know, Lagos has the population. Lagos has the people who can afford it. So Lagos has put a lot of money in infrastructure so that if you all produce, we can create that market to keep your farmers sustainable. Okay, and create a balance there. The rice mill is there, completed, and yet Ogun or your neighboring that have the lands, that have the resources, that if they put one proposal together, that Lagos would offtake it. It is common knowledge Lagos can offtake it, and yet Ogun and Oyo are not working with Lagos to produce that. And you know, they can't tell me we are doing it now. No, we've had food insecurity for 16 months.
That's right.
The governors in the Southwest need to up their game, but the governors generally, even in the North, while I appreciate the Kebbi and Co, there is no productivity there. There's production where the farmers are into activity, they are farming. It's a big plus. It's better than nothing. But the farmers need to increase their yield from maybe 5 tons of rice to 10 tons of rice. And don't support 100,000 farmers and just show us 200 who have attained that. That is, you know, not acceptable. You know, so bottom line is that we need to jig a lot of things. We need other regions to follow suit with others and for us to be food secure.
That's right. I love the